A started a business with the investment of 8,000. A started a business with the investment of 8,000. After 6 months, B joined the business with the investment of 12,000. After 6 months, B joined with the investment of 12,000. After 6 months, that means A is in the business for 12 months, right? And with the investment of 12,000, at the end of the year of the profit earned is profit has been given as 14,210, and find the share of A. It is asking the share of A. Let's see the options: 6,310, 8,120, 9,340, and none. So here it is clearly given A invested 8,000 for 12 months and B invested 12,000 for 6 months. So let's cancel whatever common here. If you go 12 gets cancelled, 2 3s, 2 4s. So 4:3. 4:3 is our ratio. So we have a profit here 14,210. So 14,210 rupees has to be distributed among this A and B in the ratio 4 plus 3, 7. So first you have to find out one part value. So one part value will be around 2030, right? So one part value I got around 2030. Now it is asking for a share of A. So we have to find the share of A. A got 4 parts value. That means we have to give 4 parts value to A. So that means 2030 should be multiplied with 4. Then we will get the answer. So as I have told you earlier, instead of multiplying with 4, if you go with common calculations, then it will be very easy. Common calculations in the sense, we need to take 4 parts value. One part value 2030. Forget about this 30, just go for 4 and 2000. 4 parts of 2000 is 8,000, so I kept 8,000 aside, and 4 parts of 30 will be 120. So 8,120 will be our answer. Instead of doing all the calculation, you can directly go, right? Let's move to the next problem. A and B started a business with each 8,000 investment. A and B started a business at the same time. A and B started a business. A invested 8,000 and B also invested 8,000. After you are very habituated with the calculation, no need to write this 3 zeros, because 3 zeros here, 3 zeros here, anyways it gets cancelled. So A started business 8,000, B also started business 8,000 each. After 6 months, A withdraw 4,000. So after A was in the business with 8,000 only for 6 months, because after 6 months he withdrawed 4,000 from this 8,000. That means for another 6 months he was with only 4,000 in the business, right? So I'll be getting a ratio of this into this, that means this value into months plus this next again withdrawed value into the months, right? That means after withdrawing 4,000 he is left with 4,000 in the business, right? And next let's move to the B. While B added 2,000 in the same time period, that means B was with 8,000 for 6 months and later he added 2,000 in benefit, so he was with 10,000 for next 6 months, right? Now it is asking if total profit is 6,000, profit is given as 6,000, total profit is given as 6,000, then A share of profit will be. So it is asked what is the share A is getting, right? Let's see the options: 2,250, 2,400, 3,850, 4,000. So as we are having zeros common in all the sets, that means here there are 3 zeros, here there are 3 zeros, here. So that's the reason I did not take the zeros. Now in the calculations, whatever is common, whatever is going to get cancelled, it has to be cancelled in this part and also in this part. Not only in this part and not only in this part. So in all the places it has to be cancelled. So in all the places I have 6 common, so I can cancel 6 common, right? Last I am left with 8 plus 6, 8 plus 4 is to 8 plus 10. Even now I cannot cancel, because before cancelling also, instead of writing here, it gets cancelled here. With 4 I can cancel, 4 2s and 4 1s, 4 2s and it is not going with the 4, so I can go with 2 4s and 2 2s, 2 4s and 2 5s. So I am left with 4 plus 2, that is 6, is to 4 plus 5, that is 9. Again I can cancel here 3 2s, 3 3s, right? So my final ratio is 2:3. So whatever the 6,000 I have to divide it into 5 parts. Then one part value I'll get the one part value, that is 1200. We are getting 1200. One part value is 1200. So it is asked what is the share of A. So A should be given a 2 parts value. So double of this 2 parts value, we have learned already how to make a number double. So 1200 double will be 2400. Obviously option B will be our correct answer, right? So let's see next problem. A invested 4,000. A invested 4,000. I am not writing zeros because it gets cancelled. A invested 4,000 and B invested 6,000. B invested 6,000 in business. 20% of profit was received by A for managing the business. That means 20% of profit should be given to A for managing the business, right? And rest was divided in proportion to their capitals, whatever the ratio we are getting. What is the share of B if the total profit is 3,000? Total profit it is given as 3,000. Now it is asked what is the share of B. So let's see the options. 1,000, 1,240, 1,440 and none. So here they both are in the business for same time period. That means if time period is not mentioned, that means they are for 12 months, 1 year. As 12 is common, we cannot, we will skip that 12, right? So we are left with 4:6. Even 4 also we can cancel, 2s and 3s. So 2:3 is the ratio. 2:3 is the ratio. We have to divide the profit into 5 parts. But right now, before dividing the profit into 5 parts, the among this 3,000 profit, among this profit 3,000, I have to take 20% out and it has to be given to A for managing the business. So from this I have to take out a 20% value. Percentages we have already learned in the percentages video. So for 20% how we will calculate? First we will find the 10%, 10% is 3,300, 20% will be 600. So I have to delete, I have to subtract 600 from this, and remaining amount whatever it may be, 2,400 is left with me. This 2,400 should be divided or distributed, should be divided with this 5 parts, whatever the 5 parts I got. So 5 4s and 5 8s. So one part value is 480. So it is asked what is the share of B. So B share, that means 3 parts value I have to give. So for 3 parts, and that means 480 should be multiplied with 3. Instead of that we are doing the calculation is like, first take 3 parts of 400. 3 parts of 400 will be 1200, right? And 3 parts of 8, that means 240. So add 240 for this, we will be getting 1440. So 1440 will be our answer, right? Wherever possible, we are just skipping multiplications, big multiplications, or else if it seems to be very easy when you are calculating, you can go with the calculations, right? Let's move to the next problem. Rent a field for grazing their cows. A and B has taken a rent for grazing their cows. A put 25 cows for 6 weeks. Here cows will be the amount which they are investing in the business, and weeks, time period they have given as weeks. That weeks will be taken as a time period. We are converting as a months here, right? So A has A put 25 cows 25 cows for 6 weeks. He is putting it for 6 weeks. While B puts 40 cows for 5 weeks. He is putting 40 cows for 5 weeks. If A pays 1500 as a rent, so A is paying 1500 as rent, how much should B pay towards the rent? So what is the rent to be paid by B, right? So let's see the options. 2000, 1800, 1960 and now we got the ratio here. Just we will calculate what is the ratio we can get. 5 ones, 5 5s, and 5 ones, 5 8s, and 2 3s, 2 4s. Then so we got the ratio 3:4. We did not get what is the total profit they have invested. They got the profit, but here it is given just whatever the rent paid by A. A is paying 1500 as a rent. That means A should get 3 parts. That means A should pay 3 parts. 3 parts value it is getting 1500. That means 4 parts value will be around 2000, because just only 1 part value is different. From 1500, 1 part value will be obviously 500. So 4 parts value will be 2000. So A should pay 2000 as the rent, towards rent for the cow graze, right? Let's move to the next problem. A, B, C invested in business. There are 3 persons. A pays twice as much as B. There are 3 persons who are starting a business A, B, C. It is given that A pays twice as much as B and B pays thrice as much as C. If the total profit is 50,000, total profit it is given as 50,000, right? And A's profit is, it is asked what is the profit of A. Here options are 20,000, option B is 10,000, C 30,000, D none. So here it is asked, he did not give whatever the values they have invested, but he just gave an hint that A invested twice as much as B, A invested twice as much as B, and B invested thrice as much as C. So that means here we did not get whatever the values he has given. We did not get any values here. So depending on C percentage only, C value only, we are taking the investments, right? For example, C, let's assume that C invested C money, right? And it is given that B invested thrice as much as C. That means 3 times of C has been invested by B. That means we can take 3C, right? And it is given that A has invested twice as much as B. That means whatever B is investing, A has invested double of that. That means can we take 6C here, right? So this is the ratio he has given. So C's are common here, we will just taking off that C's, so we are left with the ratio 6:3:1, right? Now it is asking what is the profit of A. It is asking what is the profit of A. We are given total profit here. Total profit is 50,000. So here we are getting 10 parts. That means this 50,000 should be divided by 10, and we will be getting one part value as 5,000. So it is asked what is the share of A. So obviously 6 into 5,000, it is getting 30,000. So our answer will be 30,000, right? So this is how you can minimize your calculations. In some problems it is not mandatory to do all the calculations. Easily if we analyze, we will get the answer. Let's move to the next problem. A invested 3,000 for 1 year in a business. A invested 3,000 for 1 year in the business. How much B should invest in order that the profit after 1 year may be divided in the ratio 2:1? Here we did not get what is the profit should be invested, what is the amount should be invested by B. It is just given how much B should invest in order that the profit after 1 year, after 1 year in the sense even B is standing for 1 year. So here B will be standing for 1 year, right? After 1 year may be divided in the ratio 2:3. That means 2:3. We have to get the ratio 2:3. So let's see the options. Options is like 2,000, 1,800, 4,500 and none. Here we have to just find out what is the investment invested by B. So and we have given only the ratios of the A and B. We did not get what is the total profit. In such kind of problems it is easy if we go with the options instead of solving it and going for deeper calculations. It's very easy if we go with the options. From options, whatever option will be easier for you, you can take that option as your answer. You can assume that option as your answer. See here I have 2,000 easy. So if I take 2,000 here, just assume that if I take 2,000 here, I will not be getting a ratio of 3%. That means I will not get 3 here because A has invested 3,000 and he is getting only 2 parts. Whereas B has to invest more than 3,000, then only he will get 3 parts value. So I can take 2,000 here, and also I can't take 1,800 here because it should be more than A's investment. So I can eliminate this A, I can eliminate this B. Obviously our answer will be lying between these two. So if let's assume that 4,500 has been invested by B. If we take 4,500 here, if after cancellation if we are getting a ratio of 2:3, then our assumption 4,500 will be correct, right? So let's see, any cancellations will be done. 2 zeros, 12 gets cancelled, and 5 6 5 7s. 5 9s. So 3 2s and 3 3s. So 2:3. I got the ratio 2:3. So whatever the investment I have assumed that 4,500 has been kept by B will be my correct answer. This is how you can eliminate options instead of going for a long calculations, right? Let's move to the next problem. Next problem, A and B invested in a business in the ratio of 3:2. A and B invested in the business with the ratio of 2:3, right? Sorry, it is 3:2. A and B invested in the business in the ratio 3:2. If 5% of the total profit goes to the charity, here from total profit 5% is going to the charity. So they are giving 5% for the charity, and A's share is 855. That means 3 parts value it is given as 855, the total profit is, it is asking what is the total profit of, it is asking what is the total profit. So let's see the options. It is 1425, 1500, and C is giving 1576, and D none. Here we got the ratios of their investment 3:2, and we got 3 parts value as 855, right? And it is asked what is the total profit they got, total profit, whatever the profit they got, right? So even this kind of problem, if we go with the options, it will be very easy. Instead of going for a long calculations, if you go with the options, you will get the answer very easily. So among these options, only 1500 is very easy for calculations. So I am just assuming that 1500 will be my answer, right? So let's see 9th problem. Here it is given A and B started a business, and their investment, it is not given as an investment, it is given as a ratio. A and B started a business, and their investment ratios are in the ratio 3:2, and among their investment, among their profit, whatever the profit they get after finishing the business, among that profit they have to take out 5% for their charity, because they are interested to give 5% for the charity, and remaining 95% should be distributed among these two, A and B. But here it is given, we did not get what is the total profit here, that is what we have to find out here. It is given what is the share A got, right? So here hint is like what is the share A got, right? So let's see how we can go with this kind of problem. Here it is given 3:2 as a ratio of their investment, right? Investment means amount what they have invested into the month. So by both, after multiplication, they got 3:2 as the ratio, right? So now it is asking what is the total profit earned by them. So our total profit will be lying in between these options. So whatever the option is easier for simplification, just assume that option will be correct answer, because your answer will be lying in between these options. So among these options, 1500 is a bit easier for me, so I am choosing 1500 as my answer. So if I take 1500 as my answer, from this 1500, before giving the shares to A and B, I have to take out 5% for the charity. So among this 1500, take out 5%. 5% we have already learned in the percentages. First calculate 10%. 10% is 150, and half of that 10% will be 5%. So 150 half is 75. So remove 75 from this, and whatever may be the rest, that will be, should be shared among A and B. So it is 1425. This 1425 has to be distributed into 5 parts. It is getting like 285, right? So I am getting 285 as 1 part value. So here it clearly it is given 855 for 3 parts. That means A got a 3 parts value as 855. If after multiplying that with 3 parts, that means after we calculate for 3 parts, if the 3 parts value is 855, then our assumption 1500 will be correct. So 855 3 parts will be, you can calculate in that way as we have discussed earlier. 3 parts in the sense 3 into 2, it is 600, and 8 parts value, like that if you calculate, it is getting around 8055. So our assumption, whatever we have assumed that it may be total profit of 1500 is correct. So by assumption, or by assuming that options among the options, whichever the option is very easier for calculation, if you assume that, even with that we will get the answer. Let's move to the next problem. the total, the ratio of investment of A, B, C are in the ratio, A, B, C are in the ratio 2:3:5, and if their period of investment are in the ratio 3:4:6, that means 3:4:6. Period in the sense time period, whatever they are in the business, right? Now the profit earned by them are in the ratio. Now it is asked just the profit ratio. Just we have to find out what is the profit ratio. So it is very simple problem. You can just cancel whatever common here, 3 2's and 2 2's and 2 1's. We are left with 1:2:5. So profit ratio will be 1:2:5. This is how you can minimize, you can go with the problems. Just to minimize the calculations, just try and apply some logics in that, then you will get answer in a less time. So hope our percentages partnership topic has helped you like anything. So let's see in the next topic. Thank you.